This is a list of all the things girls say. Avoid this guy because he's too cheap.
Okay.
Just great.
And I feel like, do you have any?
You met him at synagogue.
And I was kind of.
You just caught him walking out of the synagogue in Midtown.
Do you have any life hacks? I would say before you even start this, which are the things that you do that are like cheap things that you get away with on a date? Like what's a
Cheap
way
things
to
get away with on a date,
or with a girlfriend, anything like that?
I don't know.
I think I wasn't even gonna say this, but like I think that probably the first thing is the hardest part to do is you can't go too big too early on and set a precedent.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, you got to start small. Picnic is great.
Yeah, like if you think you're going to be like, oh, first
That's
date.
on their list.
Yeah, like first date idea, let's go to like Carbone. And you're like, well, you ain't ever coming back from that, dude.
Yeah, no.
That's a tough one.
But you have sort of a problem because you like that sort of fancy
Well, I like it. It's
stuff.
not a problem because I do like it. It's a problem for you because you're like, you go there and you hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I just don't like it any more or less.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But then you factor
Actually, I do like it less, but I
that's
don't
the
hate
thing.
it.
Well, you like it less because of the money, but like
No, I don't like it less because of the money. I like it less because like I don't like the fancy schmancy environment.
Yeah, you don't like putting on airs.
I'm just a normal guy.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just your average red-blooded guy.
Of course, you go to like the nicest restaurant in New York. You go, can I get a can of beans?
That's another thing. Yeah, if you want to put like ketchup on something, they like scoff at you.
Ketchup. What's wrong
Someone
with ketchup?
did that guy Fahim Anwar had the funniest joke. He already posted it, but it was like something along the lines of like you go to a fancy restaurant and it's like the waiters also act like they're fancy and you're like, well, you're not rich.
Yeah.
And they're, you know what I mean? Because it is true. The waiters are kind of like,
saying everything in this proper way.
Like you don't even know that. And you're like, you're not rich either though.
It's like, don't you have roommates?
Yeah. What are you scoffing at me for?
Dude, yeah, no, the money saving stuff, I think I'm big on like, oh, let's walk to the next thing. Like that's part of the adventure.
In February.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, bring a coat. We'll start at a place and we'll walk to another place and walk to another place. We're not Ubering anywhere. We're not fucking or
so you save money like that where you
yeah.
like literally won't Uber and you'd make it like because it's cooler.
Oh yeah, it's like, well, we're seeing the city.
Yeah,
we're
it's
going
New York.
around.
It's a walk-in city.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna show you a bunch of places I like along the way.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, but I'm going to get all sweaty. And you're like,
Yeah. You're damn right you will.
Damn right. So the ones they go, he's not into Hallmark holidays. So any guy that says that, have you ever said that?
That's a Hallmark holiday.
Like saying like, they are giving away scams a little bit. I'm sure Chat GPT could come up with this bad boy too. But basically that one is you basically say like, I don't like to celebrate birthdays and Valentine's Day because I'm not like a slave to the man.
Yeah, the Matrix.
The Matrix.
I'm not a bot, so I don't celebrate fucking Valentine's.
Yeah, no, I don't like these corporate entities, and I don't support what they believe in. Yeah.
Yes. And that one I get, like, I'm never have the guts to be like, I'm not doing Valentine's Day, or they go forget wallet. Like, forgetting wallet's like the balls.
No, forgetting wallet is crazy.
That's like,
that's like, especially since the Tinder swindler came out, like you can't be like.
And also, it's like you can have your wallet in your phone now. You can pay with.
Yeah,
Apple
you got to
Pay
be
and all these
forgetting.
things.
Like literally, you got to be like, well, I got robbed on my way over here, and they're like, oh, that's horrible. You still want to go on the date? And it's like, yes, I do.
Yeah, I do.
More than never.
More than ever. I'm so shaken up. The only thing that can.
I need something to calm my nerves right now, sweetheart.
But the other ones they start getting to do, he checks for coupons, and it was like, that's not crazy to have a coupon.
No, the coupon one, I did see that, and I was like, man, to be like, oh, well, it's what's going to make it more affordable? It's like, that's makes perfect sense.
Yeah, there's a point. I remember like my buddy, Waldo, like we legitimately go to Arby's, and he's like outside on his phone trying to go on all the coupon sites, and you're like, yeah, this is pushing it, especially since he makes good money.
And it's like, that's going to cost you what, like $15 or something?
It does, but like, okay, if you're on a first date, pulling out a coupon's a ballsy move. Yeah. But if this is a girl you're dating, it's like, yeah, if I have a coupon, I'm using a coupon.
Absolutely.
Well, because
like a gift certificate. If you go to the movies and you have a gift certificate of the movies, I go, I'm just supposed to not use that?
Yeah. The problem is a lot of girls are like demented, and then no, they are, but they're like, the money spent is like a representation or like an evaluation of them. So they go like, oh, you're cheaping out here. That means like you see me lower. And you're like, that makes no sense.
You do a little bit have to not tell them you're using the coupon. Like if you buy something with a gift certificate, in their mind they'll be like, oh, it was free, so this doesn't count as something you bought to me. And you go, no. How?
That was on the balance sheet.
That's on the balance sheet for sure. Yeah.
That's on the balance sheet. That could have gone to me. And I'm sending it to you.
I'm poorer now on paper.
God, that's fucking jokes. I do like how in this article it did say that they're like, we've come to a time where it's normal for women to pay for stuff, but a man should still be paying for everything. Yeah.
Totally, yes.
Like,
they'll never give that up.
Yeah, it's like, wait. Well, we are equal now, but...
do you know what also the difference is like, I feel like girls don't realize this, but it's the truth where they can say like, body positivity, but it's like all the hotter girls are still going to get like richer dudes and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Whereas like guys, they don't play this game so if you were just like, oh yeah, like it's everything's equal now. All it would take for one guy to be like, yeah, I'll just pay for everything, and he just puts himself above every single guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes like, I got lots of money.
Yeah, you guys are all equal now. I'll be the one guy in the whole world that pays for stuff.
Scab is what it's called.
And when you look at the body positivity thing, it's like, okay, yeah, Calvin Klein has like a fat chick in underwear, and you're like, okay, but then you look at who's the most popular chicks on Instagram who has like the most following. It's like, we got the data. We got the fucking data.
It really sort of did put like the internet put a big skew into their whole thing, because like you go, who's the girl that has like 80 million followers? Like that chick ain't the same girl. That isn't the Down syndrome girl on the Victoria's Secret or whatever.
Victoria's Secret girl.
It's just not. Although maybe it is. I don't know.
Rocket.
And also it goes against the whole like body positivity thing. It's like, oh, beauty's not the most important thing. It's not most important to be beautiful, but it's like
should be when you're a model.
But they still scale it all.
You're trying to sell that, yeah.
It's like, then why are we sexualizing someone with Down syndrome? Like, what?
Yeah, that's even way grosser. Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's not that important to be beautiful, but this chick with Downs, you'd fuck her, right?
Yeah. We can all agree she's the hottest one in the world, right?
Yeah, most fuckable Downy.
That is wild. Yeah. But yeah, that's
Show me a hotter one.
That's why the girls will always still have those things, because all it takes is for one guy to cross. And that was even what I was saying about Andre's thing a little bit, which I've said to him, because he was like, you have to do all this stuff, and it was like, then don't. I don't know. It's a competitive marketplace.
Yeah.
There is like, then don't spend that money, but you just know there's some guy that has. So you gotta. The trick isn't being like, I'm gonna try to date these girls that want like a $200 date on a first date. The trick is to find your niche of a girl that doesn't want that.
Exactly.
If you're gonna be going out with a girl that's that's looking for a fancy boy, and you're trying to compete, you're just gonna get demoed.
Yeah.
If a girl's like, oh, I think that like gym rat dudes are so hot, I go, you have fun with the gym rat dudes. That's not my demo.
Go for it.
I kill it in like the earthy hippie chick community. I'm doing numbers there. I hooked up with this girl who like her form of air conditioning was she had like this wooden block that was different sizes the way you would place it in the window. So the taller it was, the more air was flowing into the room.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, she's not asking for a lot of money. That's a cheap date right there. Yeah.
She has a homemade air conditioning unit.
Yeah.
Homemade air conditioning
Did it
unit.
work?
You're not going to take her to Carbone.
Yeah. Well, because it's like because if the block's sideways, the windows only open a bit, so only a little bit of air is coming in. If you put it like upright, it's like
what if it's
yoga
just
block.
like a fucking 110 degrees outside?
Well, it was wintertime, so
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
like that's the whole
Probably doesn't
system.
look that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is that where you're just like, you got the whole trick to being cheap is like, you got to find a chick that like isn't going to be disgusted by that.
Yeah.
But
Who's,
also
like, on board.
I've had girls that's like, because I didn't like, I've always never been like, oh, I'm going to show how much money I have. That's just never been my game, because I'm also just not like that. And I feel like I don't act that much different around girls than I just do around everybody else. You know what I mean? And I've had like girls say where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not into like fancy stuff, and they'll say like, yeah, like I told my friends even, I was like, this guy's really cheap, but I like him.
Yeah.
But like, he's super cheap. And I was like, I'm actually not cheap. I wasn't lying. I don't like, but she was like, well, I don't know. It just seems like the type. And I was like, didn't even realize it, but it's like, I guess it does come across like on the first date where I just like keep slipping in how much I don't like fancy things.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I could never go to a fancy restaurant. That's just gross to me. It's like, you're right. That does come across if a guy.
$40 for a bottle of wine. That's fucking nuts.
But I was like talking shit the way that I would with dudes, but like to her.
But also, I think we don't think about that as dudes. Like, that's not something, if we're looking in a partner, we're not looking to be like, is she cheap? We're just like it's
never.
We're so
what does she look
and
like?
we're just saying who we are. I'm like, I could wear blue jeans for the rest of my life. I don't give a fuck. And they're like, oh, he doesn't want to fucking spend money. He doesn't want to look nice. He just want to dress nice.
Totally.
What if we go out to somewhere fancy? It was like, he doesn't like fancy, and that snowball's
That's how they're
going.
still evaluating him. But also, you could, I guess, say the other way, where the girl's like, yeah, and you were telling everyone, like, you kept mentioning how, like, this, and you go, that says more about you, that, like, I knew I could still smash you, and I didn't even have to put even the slightest bit of game.
No, that's fucking ruthless.
You go, yeah, I didn't even feel the need to try to soup myself up.
Yeah.
Doesn't care about value, just the price tag. I'd say I'm 100% guilty of that.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah.
the discount, like the marketing things where you go, this was $10 down to $2 versus like this is was always $2. Like they could be the exact same thing, but you'll fish me in with that 100%.
Yeah.
Free dates only. That's Shay's thing.
I love free dates. Yeah. I'll take you on a free date any day. And also, you can make a free date sentimental. I took a girl.
So you do that kind of stuff?
Oh, one time I was like, I didn't even plan this, but I told.
What
her
does a free date look like? How do you?
Oh, I like one girl was like,
Walk us through
A
the shader.
walk?
and
It is a walk. That's
is
the
a
only
walk.
thing it could be. Is just a walk.
well, I was like, I need to go Christmas shopping.
That's so funny picking her up. You meet her at her house. She goes, where we're going? We're just kind of going to walk around.
Yeah, we're just gonna walk around. But I was like, I gotta
Walk
go.
from your house to my house.
I was like, I gotta go Christmas shopping. Do you want to come Christmas shopping with me? So I had
Yeah.
to get shit for not her, but for other people.
Yo, you turn your chores into a
I
date?
did, and then I told my
Dude, you sound like I watched this female dating strategy podcast, and they would not like you because it
Dude.
sounds like all the dates from hell that they talk about. Is
But
shit
I
like
told
this.
my sister about this. And I
But
was-
but you were having fun. So she
we
had
were
fun.
having a great
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
We're hanging out, but also I told my sister about this. She was like, "That's such a stupid move," and I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Because this girl's gonna be obsessed with you because it shows like, oh, you care about your family. You're taking on a sentimental thing. You're talking
Definitely.
about your family.
Yeah, there's
And-
a lot of fun like things to talk
Oh
about.
yeah, and it's like, and then I'm telling, I have nieces and all this stuff, and I was like, I just needed to get this. I was like, I forgot I was gonna take this girl on the date, and I needed to get Christmas shopping done. So I was like, we're gonna mix them up.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just fucking.
She just became another Aaron.
yeah.
Combining errands is great.
Exactly. We did go out for drinks though, but we did go like 1 for 1, and that was her. She was like, "I'll pay for the next round." I was like, "Get it."
Sure, yeah. Won't pay for parking. I feel like I'm in all these categories, but I feel like I'm not cheap.
You are cheap.
Am I cheap or do I like a deal?
I also support not paying for parking because
Yeah.
you get away with it so many times that I feel like it evens.
Danny,
I know we had our scam.
We literally had an office in downtown Toronto, and we had 5 different spots around the city that we park at. We
We
had
got
the
banned
church.
from a church. We were like had fake license plates and shit.
we
I
printed
love
out fake parking permits for the church at one point.
I forgot about that.
We had fake parking permits for the church, and then there was like the lot that was closed down. We had to for a bit, and then we had the company that you could park in their visitor parking as long as you moved it at lunch. And we legitimately did that. So how if you
Lot of
aren't
gross.
cheap, then doesn't that make you cheap as well? Then
Who said I'm not cheap?
okay, so we're both cheap then. Won't pay for parking. Wants to share meals. That one I don't like.
The share meals.
No, I don't like. Yeah, just like or it's too obvious when you're like with a bunch of people and you go to a place and it's and you're like the guy's like, oh, you know what, I'm not hungry, and you're like, you could tell they just don't want to pay for this spot, whatever, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna eat if you're not eating, like obviously.
Yeah, no, I'm a big food guy, so I'd never pull shit like that. When I go to like brunch with a girl, I'm like, we're each getting a thing, we'll get a third thing to share, and we're sharing everything. I'm like, we're fucking.
Yeah.
I want to eat as much of the menu as possible. So like, I will go in on that.
Eats before he comes is one thing they say.
I don't think I've ever done that.
That is
Yeah.
bold to like show
Yeah.
up to the restaurant. What are you getting? He's like, oh, I ate before. And then says he'd rather be at home. So that's all the ones for anyways.
To
That's
rather
the
be
cheap.
at home though is like fuck. It's like
Yeah, but
Could be
these
true,
are
yeah.
these are not necessarily cheap things. These are just like, again, you have to set the tone for like just dating this person.
Yes.
You can, like, it's just like you can't blow your wad all at once, you know.
You definitely don't want to blow the lot.
Yeah.